of the things that we've been.
Just sort of make sure that everybody is.
Yeah. Is that right? No? If that's not been recommended, then
Has anyone looked into the liability on this? Has anyone looked into it, see how much it'll cost?
For the parade, that, yeah, I think there's,
Is it, I know it's 10 million, but it's usually paid once every year. It's not, it's 3 hours at hours, it's not more.
I think she cost the whole thing, it was going to cost between 6,000 and 8,000.
Councillor Sherwood.
Well, one of the points that I think Andy raised last meeting is, July, I think it was, is to separate the agreement of the minutes from the approval of the recommendations. And really, to my mind, I can't agree with the minutes because I wasn't present at the meeting. But approving the recommendations is a separate matter.
So at the moment, the vote was for to accept the minutes and approve the recommendations, and that was voted down. That's what we voted on. That's how it's worded on the agenda. So what you've done in voting down the minutes is vote down the recommendations.
I do understand that.
I do want to raise it relative to 8.4.
Okay.
Can I just suggest then that I mean, to me that was a surprise event, that numbers and whatever, and I hadn't thought about it in the way you said. But that might be a reason to look at that, which was introduced very late in the last 4-year council and seemed to sneak in without any agreement anyway. So
Sorry, what was?
you know, this agreement of the minutes and everything within them, one vote, no discussion, that was...
No, that's been the policy of the council for at least 5 years, because I've been on the council for 5
Actually,
years.
and I'm
So that's
council too, so that's
Yeah.
not actually what
Anyway,
was
let's move on to
yeah.
item
We need to-
8.2 on the
We need to be
agenda,
transparent.
which is the receive the minutes of the allotments committee meeting held on the 15th of September 2023 and approve the recommendations within that, which is 8.2 in your packs. Are there any issues or comments on that? Do I have a proposer to accept the minutes and the recommendations within? Councillor Bland, seconder. Councillor Cook. A show of hands for all those in favour. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Against? None. Abstentions? 2. Thank you. And move on to 8.3 to receive the minutes of Village Amenities Committee meeting held on the 25th of September, which is 8.3. It's been the recommendations of item 7.1. Carbridge Pavilion gets inclusive play area equipment supplied by Wakefield Council. To 8.1, recommend to approve the clerk to contact Wakefield Council about parking and stuff when down at the football field down in what's it called? Diggy Sykes Lane, what's that area called? I can't remember the other day anyway. That's number 9, Village Amenities Committee and staff member complete an inventory review of the tools and equipment used by the grounds maintenance team, and that myself and Dave, the team leader, does the inventory review, looking at all the stuff they've got stashed away in the cemetery and various sites around the village to make sure everything's updated and pack tested and all that kind of thing, just to make sure that we've got everything we need. Item 10 on that, to recommend supporting Low Ackworth Community Centre with storage and user group activity whilst their building at Low Ackworth is not in use. And that's it really.
I'll propose them.
So,
Can I ask a question on them? Because sometimes we've been allowed to ask questions on them, and sometimes we've been told we just have to vote and we're not allowed to discuss or anything. So those were the bits that I was referring to weren't normal. So when is the Low Ackworth Community Centre expected to be out of use?
sorry?
When is the Low Ackworth Community Centre expected to be out of use?
2 weeks ago. It collapsed 2 weeks ago.
Did it? Oh well.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry. I said that as a reaction.
So
It's not funny. I'm sorry. It's just
I went down 2 weeks ago. We managed to get some Harris fencing from a local contractor, access paving for free, bless him. And myself and John Cousins, who's the treasurer, put the Harris fencing all the way around the building. Tomorrow morning we've got a delivery of timber because there's an issue about the glass. If the front end of the building bellies out and falls, it will smash all the glass. So we're going to put timber around where at the front bits of it, where the glass is and where it's bulging. So we're going to do that tomorrow. And Low Ackworth Community Centre bought that timber and bought the screw. Well, I bought the screws, but I'll ask for the money back to do that. So that's in hand. It's been examined. It's been classed as a dangerous structure. Wakefield Metro have been informed about it's not in use, and so they won't be able to use it as a polling station whenever the next elections are, April maybe. So everything's been done by Low Ackworth Community Group in conjunction with the Parish Council. The caretakers have been a big help, as how does the group down at Low Ackworth. So everything's in hand with that. But unfortunately, it means that none of the meetings that were scheduled to go on at that building have been able to do that. So, for example, the wreath making group is going to meet in the school. Some of the groups have already met here at the parish rooms. Some have already met at the pavilion. So it's been accommodated by the parish council and by Howard School at the moment as a temporary measure until we decide what's happening with the building.
It's a horrible thing, I suppose. It's a terrible thing, that. But we've spent quite a lot of money on that building over the last... well, I can't say exactly how much. So that seems to have gone west as well. And it's a very bad thing for Low Ackworth, I know.
Okay, we've got a proposal and a seconder to accept these minutes and the proposals within them. It's a Village Amenities Committee. Can I have all those in favour? Show of hands, all those in favour. That's everybody. Thank you. And on the committee subcommittees, Finance F&GP, Finance and General Purpose Committee held on Monday the 20th of September, which is 8/4. Councillor Sherritt.
Well, I do have a couple of points in relation to these. One of them is a point of order for current standing order 7A, which is that at the meeting in June, item 23 was a proposal from myself that when we received the minutes from committee and subcommittee meeting, there'd be a separation between accepting the minutes and accepting the recommendations including within them to allow each of the 2 points to be approved individually with provision for specific recommendations to be voted on individually if required. And that was agreed in principle based on a review and inclusion of the above and specific wording in line with the Standing Orders review in September. So when I look now at these proposed revisions to the standing orders, 12B, which that point related to, does not reflect what was agreed by this parish council unanimously in June to include that separation of accepting the minutes and accepting the recommendations. And our current standing order 7A says that the resolution cannot be reversed. The word, it can't be separate. So we can't reverse that. We've agreed to do it, but we haven't. It's not been included in these standing orders. So this revision to the standing orders is not acceptable because it doesn't meet that requirement of having, we can't reverse a resolution, because they effectively have done.
Yeah.
So that, and my recommendation was based on YLCA recommendations, which I can tell you exactly what they said in the training that we did. But the overall aim I did it for was to be able to support decisions made by questioning it. And unfortunately, we have just seen a perfect example. I couldn't vote for the one because I wasn't at the meeting, so I don't know if the minutes are an accurate record of a meeting that I didn't attend. But I was very happily accepted and voted in favour of the recommendations, because I have no problem with any of the recommendations.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they're a true record. So that's why I put that proposal in that was agreed, but somehow there's nothing missed out. There's been a very complicated process by which we could question an individual point on one of these things, but actually the basis of what we agreed hasn't been included in the real standing order.
Yeah. To be honest, I think the meeting itself, which I didn't attend because I had COVID, the standing orders have been included in there. I don't know if the standing orders were discussed at the meeting in depth.
I was at the meeting, and it was raised.
Yes.
Yeah.
That point was raised, but was dismissed.
Right.
But the reality is that we are going against our standing orders by not including that in the revision to the standing orders. So
I think what we need to do is just hold that in abeyance, actually, because I don't know. It says here I've got included as a copy of the proposed standing orders, as councillors do need to know of these recommended changes by F&GP, and the document is for reference only and not really discussion.
But they aren't agreed, though. It was agreed, and we agreed in the motion in June that would be included to separate it in the standing orders review in September, and they haven't been. So that can't stand because we are breaking our own standing orders if this gets approved.
Yeah.
The F&GP might have said okay, but actually now it's come to us here because it's the first chance I've had to say anything about it. But now it's come here, I would say we're breaking our standing orders.
Right.
I have something else to say on this, which is in a more general sense. I hope that's something.
Well, can we just stick to this agenda item?
I am sticking to the agenda
Right.
item. These are the Finance and General Purposes Committee minutes, and there are all sorts of policies, including the standing orders, being rejigged. I know that the Parish Council did ask the Finance and General Purposes Committee to come back with recommendations. I know that. But we also passed a motion last month about the public. The one you suggested, Andy, I can't just find it at the moment. It was a motion. Where is it? Yes, but if we agree, it's to review the policies.
Yeah, that is it is in process.
With a view to serving the public.
Yeah.
Can you remind me what your
I can't
motion was?
remember
I'm
exactly
so
what it
sorry.
was, but
It's in here.
it is in motion anyway. So So I'm
Yeah, but
quite
if we
happy.
agree these, we've agreed the policies, surely...
It's kind of, no, I would say it's separate from the standing. I don't
Well, there's
really,
also the
because-
complaints procedure,
so-
and if we've got additional stuff in there, standing, the complaints procedure, and also, sorry, I should be addressing you, Chair, I'm sorry. It's also, I mean, I don't think I'm getting this wrong. We're also looking at complaints procedure, a vexatious thing procedure, as part of this, and the standing orders, which there are model standing orders, but there seem to be variants from this. I'm just saying, would it not make more sense if we passed a motion that we want to make sure, I wish I could find it, I just can't at the moment, it must be my travelling, but Andy we had actually passed a motion where we were going to look at the policies in relation to our serving of the public. Can nobody help me out with that motion? Where is it? What's the part?
I think really general discussion about it. We need to get through the agenda. We need to move on. What I propose is that we take 8.4, receive the minutes of the Finance and General Purpose Committee meeting, and approve the recommendations within them. If we leave out the standing orders, which are here for information need to know basis. Because there are no recommendations, if we cut the standing orders out of that, we will then be taking a vote on the meeting that was held on the 25th of September with 5 people present. None of the standing orders aren't involved in that. So can we take a vote on...
Sorry, I do have one other point as well, and that was the other part of it, to agree the habitual and vexatious complaints policy. And I did ask, I emailed Gemma
What number is this? Sorry.
well, this was from, in terms of that was 7.3, because essentially my feeling is that at this meeting we would be agreeing that habitual and vexatious complaints policy, but we haven't been given a copy of it.
No.
So I wouldn't know what I'm agreeing.
Right.
And Gemma said slightly contradictory information in relation to that we don't need to know, but she said that we're a committee-led parish council, but actually it wasn't a committee-led decision to include that as a policy within it. So I'm kind of struggling, but as I say, it's very difficult to approve something that you've never seen, and we haven't had a chance to see. So, I've got a concern on that one as well, that I don't think, I want to vote against things, as I've already said, but I can't agree to something I've never seen.
Right, okay, Councillor Sherwood.
I have seen a copy of the vexatious policy, and it's apparently from a YLCA website download, and it looks extremely basic. Having looked at the Information Commissioner's website, I don't feel it's robust enough to meet the criteria that they allow, because it could allow for abuse of the policy, and it would simply get thrown back at us because we would not be open and transparent enough with that policy. I also think it's concerning that we're agreeing something like this when Gemma hasn't actually done the Information Commissioner's training herself yet, because it was cancelled. And I personally feel it's something that could wait in abeyance until she's actually done that.
So it's a proposal to the meeting to hold this in abeyance to the next meeting? Does anybody want to make that proposal? So that's proposed by Councillor A. Sherrod. Is there a seconder for that? Councillor S. Sherrod. All those in favour of that? That's unanimous, thank you.
Is that the whole of the Finance and General Purposes?
F&DP, yeah.
All right. Thank
So,
you.
Number 9 on the agenda to receive burial rights, which is what we've got. Right, we've got agenda item 9, burial rights. We've got Patrick Stone into K12, which is the cemetery plot. Sandra Marks, K13, Albert and Jan Gardner, section R, row A, 13, Norman Trevelyan, section R, row A, 14. So that's just to be noted. Alright, thank you. Right, item 10 on the agenda, financial matters. On your packs, that's all for step at 10.1. To receive and approve the accounts to the end of August 2023. I believe that when the packs were given out, they went out with a recommendation that if any parish councillors had any issues, they should let the office know before 12 o'clock today, which was when Gemma, I believe, was finishing a shift. So, and I don't know if any been received.
I have a question about the things and Gemma's confirmed.
But they've been dealt with.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's fine.
So can we take just a show of hands on that, then accepting that? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 against, 1 against. Abstentions,
Can you just remind me which one we're voting on?
10-1.
10. As I said, we have different public here. As I said at the last meeting, I just want to explain for the benefit of the public that I do